Evening, boys. Good to see you all. So, we haven't had a show for a couple of weeks. We'll just have a quick catch up and then discuss the events of yesterday. Just firstly, I want to say hello to all the subscribers and please share this video with any Liverpool fans you know. If any of you want to come on it who haven't been on it before, let me know as well. Hit the like, hit the comments as well. Give us feedback, anything. Okay, let's kick off. So, last 2 weeks, 3 odd games: Cardiff, Burnley, Inter Milan, and Norwich. Jayden, how do you think we've done?
I think we've done really well, to be honest. I mean, wins in all of them. So even though they don't, on paper, they might not seem like the hardest fixtures ever, you got to win them at the end of the day. And we had difficult opponents, like, let's say, Burnley, made it really difficult for us. Just managed to grab a 1-0 there, courtesy of Fabinho firing. But yeah, I think Inter was harder than fans thought it would be. Inter are a good side. But funny enough, when we played each other, we was on exactly the same amount of points and on the same position in the league table. So yeah, but really, we think we've done really, really well. We've kind of nullified all the opponents we've had. We haven't really looked like we're struggling. Burnley, maybe a shooting boots were a bit off, but there was not. I think in all the 4 games we played, the threat from the opposition has been really, really low. So that's one of the particulars I've been happy about.
What I've noticed in these last few games is how many times we're catching teams offside.
Yeah, I mean, if we're double, I think 40 or 50 more offsides for us than anyone else in the Prem. So
I mean, Burnley, they had so many chances, but I think only 1 or 2 of them counted.
Yeah.
Because the rest were offside. And
they weren't chances because they were offside, yeah.
I know, but it's crazy, isn't it, when you think about it? And the same again with Inter Milan as well. We caught them offside loads of times as well. And I think with Inter are the champions of Italy currently. And they're not doing too badly this year either. So I never thought that was going to be an easy game. But yeah, it's a good one. Doddsy? Give us the wisdom, my friend.
It's all been good. I mean, what can we say? We've won the games, haven't we? But there has been a few little... Matip, although as much as I love him and how consistent he normally is, he's had is it complacent? A bit of a complacent passing sometimes. A few little back passes. So that's the only thing I would probably have a little dig at. Matip, after seeing Canate in the Champions League, for me, he should get the nod, especially for the Cup this week. We can't afford to make mistakes now. We're now in a very good position for all competitions. We just need to be everyone, none of this stupid back pass, little passes we think is going to get to the player. We need to be a bit more precise. And I think Kanata has got that little bit more of I'm more comfortable, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I've been saying for a while now, Matip worries me. Some of his passing. I mean, he started the season so well. He was running out with the ball. He looked like he was going to run the ball into the actual net. He goes so far sometimes, but I don't know, just the little 5-yard pass. It's like, wow.
Little one. Yeah.
It's a bit worrying, but yeah, look, he's still done really well. But yeah, it's a bit of a worry.
Apart from that, you can't moan. Thiago, for me, he needs to play every game. I know it's keeping him fit. He's just... he changed the game the weekend, so
and against Inter Milan as well.
Yeah,
he came on, he calmed it down, manages the game. Yaz, what do you reckon?
Yeah, a little bit like what everyone said. We're going through a purple patch, aren't we? Everything's going well. I struggle to remember a squad so deep as what we have now. Apart from, I suspect, Trent, we're doubled up everywhere, aren't we? Players that probably walk into any other side. Tsimikas, midfield, Keita, Thiago, Henderson, rotating all these players. Yes, it's going to be a very, very, very exciting end to the season. We spoke about it the other day, and every game's a money game now, not just in the league, but FA Cup and the Champions League. Obviously, never in the knockout stages. FA Cup, it's relentless, and the final next week against Chelsea. I talk about that obviously, like Dodsey and Jaden. We spoke about the other games, but I'll speak about the final next week just a little bit. Where I really, really, I know it's only the Carabao Cup, but I'm so keen to win it because it's beating Chelsea or anything like that. It's just going to be the taste of winning for the rest of this season. It's going to give us that little bit of an appetite because we should be in the last 8 of the Champions League. We should be into the last 8 of the FA Cup, and after yesterday's game at Man City, someone said today that the league's in our hands. Yes, game at a time. The FA Cup game last week, a couple of weeks ago against Cardiff, you expect to win that game. They gave us a bit of a run around, I think. Burnley, one of those places that historically we didn't really do too well at.
When you think about it, listen, sorry, mate. When you think about it, we've won our last 4 games there.
I know, but then when I say Burnley,
that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but I think what we're trying to say is, and this is moving on again to the next point, that teams like Burnley, if you like, your Stokes in the past, your West Broms, these teams always used to be a little bit of a bogey team to us. And I watched that game on Saturday against Norwich, and worryingly we went 1-0 down, and it was a very open game of football. I think I've learned to believe that I trust the team. You know what I mean? I trust what's going to happen. I don't. In the years gone by, early stages of Brendan Rodgers, before that, if we went 1-0 down, and actually, during the Rodgers era and perhaps the beginning of Klopp, but the last 2 or 3 seasons, we could be 1-0 down in the 80th minute, and we did it against Villa 2 seasons. I have faith in the outcome of the game. He changed that team around quite dramatically at the weekend. I think we saw quite obviously what happens when Trent's not in the team. But that's testament to the squad that we have, and we came through it, and we're talking about players that would walk into the best teams in Europe coming off the bench. Thiago, Luis Diaz. These players now, we are very, very. This is the best it's going to be for a very long time. Believe me.
You think so? I think it's going to get. I think it's going to get better.
Well, it can get better, but what you've got, it can get better. How can it get better? We've got the best goalkeeper, the best centre back, the best forwards, and some of the best midfielders. You're going to struggle to beat what you've got at the moment, mate. Yes, you can bring in another 1 or 2 players, but you've got the best wing backs, left back, right back, centre backs, goalkeeper, forwards. You're going some to go better than that. And I'll go back to what I said to you a few weeks ago. I don't want this side to be known, or this group of players to be known, for winning a Champions League and 1 Premier League. Great sides win lots of competitions. So that's why I want to win that Carabao Cup this week. Start off with that. We could win the FA. We could win all of them. Everyone talks about it's funny how no one talks about us winning a quadruple, isn't it? Last season, before, everyone's going about Man City are favourites for the Champions League and this and that and this and that. And,
want it, do they?
I'm happy when I'm speaking about quadruple for us.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
You have to genuinely. Okay.
That conversation's going to start after we win on Sunday.
Competition at a time. You're into the last 8 of those 2 in the league. I said a few weeks ago that Man City peaked far too early for me. Good side that they are, and still people think it's going to be a blip. But I said, they're 3 games here now starting with yesterday's one. They've got Everton away next. I mean, they're a funny side, Everton. But Everton are a hard side to beat. And then they've got the Manchester Derby. They're not easy games. So, and yesterday you could see their clear disappointment in losing the game. But they know that they have dwindled away. I mean, if we beat Leeds on Wednesday night, the gap's down to 3 points. And it's what happened to us a couple of seasons ago, 3 seasons ago, when we were all those points ahead. And they had all the games in hand, and they won them, and they went on to win the league. So it's a crazy, it's brilliant.
Yeah, I think as well, going back to that point about how can we improve, listen, we can, Mane, Salah, yeah, they're in their third, they're hitting 30. They're still good for another few years at this level, the way they look after themselves. But what I like, what we're doing is we're not bringing in like someone of the same age. You're bringing in, they brought Jota, 24, Diaz, 24, 25. They're bringing in the next front line. Do you know what I mean? It's like already Klopp is looking to rebuild the team. And that's what we were talking about last season. We were talking about how we need to refresh the team, change it up, bring in options. And he's done all of those things. So I'm really happy. I'm really happy that we're starting to see the fruition.
There is, I was watching the game the other day and, you know, we've had some banter with Arsenal fans, but I mean, Oxlade-Chamberlain is a poor player now.
Yeah.
I mean, he stood out so badly and so off what we are doing as a team at the moment. It was ridiculous. I mean, he was awful. So players like him need to go. Players like Origi. I know he's your love child, Jason, but you know, for me,
he's not my love child. I mean, I'm grateful for what the guy's done for us.
Okay, but sentiment, and things like that need to be left alone. You know, these kind of players, these are the kind of players we need to regenerate now. Midfield, is Curtis Jones gonna? I mean, you're going to keep him for a while longer because he has the potential, but other than that, you're struggling to think about. I mean, Mane. If I'm going to be ultra critical, you know, business-wise, I wouldn't mind selling Mane at the end of this season.
No, man, don't swear like that, man.
It's the last bit of real. It's the last bit of real money you're going to get for him.
No, man, you can't sell Mane, man. Mane's got to stay.
Well,
Mane, you know, listen, Mane was the catalyst for what's happening now with Klopp. That was the first game-changing signing he made, was Mane.
But I hear what you're saying. I'm not arguing with that. I mean, I remember what's happened, but you'd be lying to yourself if you didn't say the last 18 months were average at best. You know, he does brilliant things like he did the other day, but, you know, consistently, I mean, if Diaz is going to play out there on the left, I don't think he'll be sitting on the bench in place for Mane. I think Mane is going to be warming the bench.
Well, I wouldn't get rid of Mane just yet.
But he won't sit on the bench. You can see his satisfaction of not starting or being sub. So
yeah, but I think Klopp's got the knack of keeping them happy, you know. And look, Mane and Salah will be the ones that start more often than not, and then Jota, Firmino, Diaz will be the ones rotated. And sometimes, listen, and although they haven't got injuries, thank God, these two, Mane and Salah, very often, you know, it could happen. So you don't want to get rid of the options.
No, if you get rid of him, you're going to replace him. You're not going to get rid of him and go to, you know, keep the money. I'm saying, you know, like you said, Diaz, Jota, you know, you could get rid of him and buy another young-ish, up-and-coming player.
I think they might buy one anyway. Like that, they're talking about that Doku, who plays in France, that Belgium.
Yeah, I watched Doku, and I say that he's not quite at the level that we usually buy players at yet. He's got kind of a problem at the moment he does everything right, but he's not really good at kind of like the final ball. the finish, the assist, etc.
You don't think Klopp could help him?
At the moment, I think you'd want him to stay on a year or so, because he just moved to Rennes recently.
Yeah.
And I think a year or so there would be fine. But I think, to be honest, that's been put to bed when we bought Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz is a left winger predominantly, cuts in on his right foot. Jeremy Doku's nearly exactly the same thing. I think we go. To be honest, I think we go for a Salah backup in the summer. I mean, I hope the fingers crossed about the contract situation. But I really, really want Jarrod Bowen, to be honest.
Really?
They're calling him the Humberside Salah already.
He is a good player. I like.
He's class, man. He's got the second goal contributions to Salah. So Salah's got the most goal contributions. I think Bowen's got 9 goals and 8 assists.
Yeah, but 60 million they want for him, man.
Yeah, I know.
No.
It's the homegrown spot. If you hear 60 million is too expensive, yes. But if you think about it, 1, it's the homegrown spot.
I can see Origi going the other way, though.
Yeah, 2, that's... if you think about Jota, we signed Jota for what, 44 million?
Yeah.
And if you think about those two, Bowen is further along than Jota was when we bought him. Does that make sense? And Jota for 44 million, you might have looked at it and thought, yo, we're getting flogged here.
I was just, when we signed Jota, I was just surprised. I thought he was a good player for Wolves, but I think that was under the radar so much because everyone was talking about Traore.
Yeah.
At that time. And then we signed Jota and it was a bit like, what?
But that's the thing.
It wasn't the money, it was just...
Yeah. We were in for Bowen. We were looking at him last year. So if you think about it, if we did buy him last year for 40 or whatever, it would have looked like a coup now because of how many got. Obviously, he will never be getting a place, etc. But he's like him and Raf.
I don't know about him.
Rafinha, I think, are ones that we should be looking for. Him, Rafinha, or like Julian Wirtz, or that kind of player where they're on the right side, cutting him from the left. Because Harvey Elliott, I thought was going to cover that side, but it seems like Klopp wants to use him as a centre mid.
Okay.
So I think we go for a right winger and maybe a backup for Trent, because that's
what about that guy Jonathan David or Coleman?
Coleman's a bag of whatsits. I don't see a point of getting
a bag of whatsits.
He's made of Jacob's cream crackers. I don't think there's a point getting another. He can't, like, he literally can't stay fit for a season. I don't remember the last time he actually stayed fit for a whole season. So I wouldn't see the point in that.
Going back to this season, going back to what's left of this season, the one thing that I don't want to happen is Klopp fuck it up by rotating players. I mean, he's got a lot of players at his dispense this season in lots of different positions. Now, he did it on Saturday against Norwich. At the end of the game, it worked. It didn't matter. He'll probably do something similar against Leeds on Wednesday. I don't want us to get to a game where it's gonna, you know, he could do something stupid on Wednesday for argument's sake and put Salah on the bench. It wouldn't be the most surprising thing, or a Van Dijk or someone. You know what I mean? Someone that, and I'm a little bit scared that one of these games, not the cup game so much, but in a league game against these lesser teams, that he feels that I can kind of, wing this game and give him a rest. He did it with Trent and Robertson the other day. Like we said, it came out, but I worry about that, because when you've got a lot of options, it's possible. It's possible that could happen, that he could just be a bit too smart sometimes.
But remember, weren't you saying before, he's got to trust these players. He's got to give them game time.
No, he trusts them. But what we're saying is, of course he trusts them. They're part of the squad and he works with them every day. However, he hasn't, for example, Matip and Konate at centre back. How many times have they played together this season?
Twice,
perhaps in a game. So something like that, or your Salah, or your, this front 4-5 thing. In a week or two time, you're going to have Diaz, Mane, Salah, Firmino, and Jota. I mean, 5 players to put into 3 positions. Sometimes he hasn't had that. He hasn't had that problem, if you like, at Liverpool since he's been there. Some players made it very easy for him not to pick them. Shaqiri's, Benteke's, and others. Now he's got players that, you could pick any of those players and it wouldn't be a poor or a weaker side. I just hope that he doesn't get too smart with his, playing, I don't know, in a few weeks' time, West Ham, for argument's sake, at home, away, should I say. And then we've got a Champions League game on a Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know what I'll do. I'll rest someone. And then, So I just hope he doesn't get too clever with it.
I don't think he will. I think he knows players like Salah, Mane can play twice a week. He knows they can do that. I think he's got to be careful with players like Thiago because he wants that guy to be fit for the rest of the season so he can use him. So he's going to manage him probably.
But Keita's not bringing in, is it?
Keita's all right. Keita's been doing okay. We still haven't seen the player I thought we were going to get with Keita yet for Liverpool. I'm still
flats to deceive, doesn't he? You always think you're going to see something special.
He's just. I don't know. I think
we've seen glimpses.
Glimpses, but
that's just
that doesn't run games though. I mean, Thiago showed you.
When he was fit and he was playing, Keita has run games and been that kind of guy to make a difference for us. But the only problem is, when is he fit and when does he get running games? That's the only thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's why he's going to have to manage him.
Yeah.
I just think that the spine. I mean, the keeper. I mean, Kelleher's going to play in the Carabao final. He said that already, which is fine. I think he's a great keeper anyway. That's one of the positions that I think he's really learned a lot from. The coaching and Alisson, but I think the spine of that team. Tsimikas can do Robertson's job. I'm quite happy with him.
It's the right back.
Van Dijk, Trent, Fabinho, Salah, and probably Jota in the form that he's in at the moment are the players that I wouldn't mess around with. I mean, if Diaz played instead of Mane, it wouldn't bother me.
Jota's got an ankle ligament.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying going forward, he might be fit. He said it's not as bad as what they thought it is, but going forward, they're the kind of players I wouldn't be messing around with. I mean, Henderson again for the legs, but don't get too smart with him. He's not going to change too much, but
no, he won't. Probably in the FA Cup game against Norwich, he'll give some of the Minamino, Origi, Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones. They'll get a run out. Gomez. He'll play some of these guys because he's got to give them game time. Because if he needs to bring them on in a big game, he needs to know that they've got some rhythm, because it's all right training every day. But I think, no, you won't see a weakened side against Leeds just because we got the Carabao Cup on Sunday. It's Wednesday, Sunday. That's plenty of time to recover. So, those key players, I think what he'll do is he'll try and win the game and then bring off players to rest them to make sure that they're fit for Sunday. So, no, I think we're in a really good place. Like you say, it's going to be exciting this season. What was that noise?
What's that noise?
I think your thing's crackling.
Dodds crackling.
Me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the best we've had for more than a generation, and I just, to make statements. For example, this season we're at a situation here where we should finish in the top 2 in the league. Hopefully first, because I honestly felt last night when they got beat and we won that there was a change of change of direction, for us and for them. We're all of a sudden
momentum.
I mean, I just feel like we are the juggernaut at the moment, and they're kind of running out a little bit of steam. He doesn't know how, and he's another one. We're talking about rotating these players. I mean, Mahrez has probably been one of their best players for the last few weeks. He had him on the bench, so it becomes a problem if you don't know how to rotate your players so well. And now they're going to be under pressure when you're 9 points clear and you're playing with the freedom and are able to express yourself how you want. It's a lot easier when you know that just behind you, if you make one mistake, you're going to get done for it. They're going to start playing. They're going to start making mistakes. When you are under pressure, you will make mistakes. When you're doing as you please and rolling teams over, it's very easy. So when you have to,
win,
always win.
Sorry, what I noticed the other day was how the Man City players were arguing with the ref over every decision. They were just like, you see how worried they are about what's going on outside of their game.
I saw it at the end of the game. I mean, Gundogan and Bernardo Silva at the end of their game. I mean, their expressions, their faces were fucking hell. We're in the ring now. We thought we weren't going to have a fight, and now we're in the ring. And as I said, I mean, you can talk to me again in 2 weeks' time, but I don't see them getting 6 points out of Everton and Man United. Not to say that we're going to win every game, but there's only 13 left now. But I see them coming off, and whether it's dramatic or not, I really, really do see them in the next 2 games dropping more points. I think they'll probably get 3 or 4 points perhaps out of their next 2 games, which will be fantastic for us. But I just, next week's massive for me is the Carabao Cup. Let's go and win that and get the first trophy in. And then, listen, those guys ain't silly. The manager's not silly. The players aren't silly. They've won a league together. They've won a Champions League together. They know what it takes to win. They know what it takes to deal with pressure. And I just think, looking at our guys, we look fresher than Man City. I think Man City, honestly, they just went too early on this run of theirs, and I think it's going to come to a halt. I really do.
Well, we hope you're right. I think as well, with the new players coming into the team like Diaz and Jota, who haven't won anything with Liverpool yet, they're desperate to be a part of that winning sort of squad. You know what I mean? That sort of group, that experience of having won something with the club. And I think they're going to be key on Sunday. I mean, look, it can work both ways. Look, we can win this trophy on Sunday and it sets us up nicely for the rest of the season. If we don't win it, that disappointment could fuel a relentless push to whatever. So, look, I'd rather win it than not win it. But listen, it's not going to derail the season, whatever happens, or it's not going to mean we win the league or the Champions League. But it'd be lovely to win a domestic cup and put that one to bed now, because everyone says, Klopp doesn't care about the domestic cups. We win one, then that's over with as well. And I think we've got a good chance, because Chelsea don't look like they're ripping up any trees at the moment. They're a good team. With very good players. So it's not going to be an easy game. But I just think we got too much for them, I don't know. What do you think, Jaden?
I mean, I looked at the picture I sent in the chat not 3 hours ago, and the City are still favourites to win it. They've got a better run than us, an easier run than us. We've got quite a tricky run in places. I mean, that's just it's just the fact of the matter. I do agree with Yaz about the momentum shift. I think the momentum's well and truly with us at the moment. And I think, obviously, City have, 3 losses in the leagues? We only have 2. I was actually surprised to go and see that we only have 2 losses. So we know
we're
where
in
we
a
are.
lot of games, haven't we?
Yeah, we've drawn too many, to be honest. But we know where we're coming. Like when we won the season a couple of seasons ago, and we just kept winning. And it was like the kind of same feeling where I'm watching games with, I don't know about you guys, but less anxiety. at the moment. I'm like
Yeah.
a bit more comfortable when I'm watching games. I'm a bit more trusting in the team. And I think, though it sounds silly, if the fans are feeling that, it definitely translates to the players. And I think they know that they're going to pull it out the back. And
Well, even when
like,
we were 1-0 down yesterday, the fans were going mad there, weren't they? They were
it was like
singing.
it was reminiscent of the season that we won it, where we had some absolute shitters, like, excuse my French, but we just won. You know what I mean? It was just like 1-0s and the 1-1s and scoring at the last minute. We've scored a lot of goals between the 75th and the 90th minute this season. And that was
the Aston Villa game that Yaz mentioned earlier on, where we were 1-0 down in the 80th minute and Robertson and Mane last minute goals.
Yeah, like we've done
to win it.
We've done a lot of that. I think Diaz has helped. Diaz has injected the momentum into us as well. I think everyone can see, and the Liverpool team, how good of a player he is. Like what Klopp was saying, is one of the best debuts he's seen his managerial career. And I think he's showing up on the training pitch and everyone's kind of going, bloody hell, like, this guy's good, isn't he? You know what I mean?
For real, it's a for real signing, mate. It's
I think he's got a better. It reminds me of Trent and Salah, with him and Robbo on the left. I think he's got a better chemistry than Mane, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think Mane is still. I mean, he's still world class. He's still our best left winger. He's still one of our best forwards. I think obviously Salah's a freak, but he's a very, very close freak. So I wouldn't want to be dropping him. But like as I said, we're in a lot of competitions and we have the power to win them all. So with a player like Diaz and players like Jota and Firmino still got a role to play.
I still think Firmino can move back into midfield and be a really good midfielder.
The only thing is, I think he'll be wasted because when he comes on a striker and drops into midfield, it creates so much space in behind for attackers to exploit. We've done it against Inter when he came on. They didn't know how to handle it. We've done it against Arsenal. They didn't know how to handle it. He was because players follow him, and he's just like, "See you later." Boom, click behind, lay it off to the centre backs, and you know what I mean. So, I mean, in terms of the season, I think we're all believers, aren't we? That's why we're Liverpool fans.
Yeah, but that's what Klopp's done, isn't it?
Yeah, we're all
He's
believers.
turned us doubters to believers. We
all believe we can win this, and like when I saw that table when it said, probability 22% chance, I thought, fucking that's a good chance. Like I'll be right. That's 1 in 4. I'll be right behind that.
Yeah.
Win every game until we face City. That's all we can do. Win every game until we face City, and
we might be above them by then. You never know.
Yeah. We can let them. Like Klopp said, I've got many problems, and the smallest problem I have is Man City, because that's not our problem at the moment. Our problem is winning the rest of the games we got. We can deal with that when we come. And if we do win all our games, we don't care if City win all our games because you still got to play us. Yeah. If we beat you, we can win this league. And all the players know that as well.
All right. So, on that lovely note, we will end the evening tonight. Thank you all. Let's do another one on Wednesday night after the Leeds game, yeah? See if you can make it, yeah? I think we need to keep the pressure on now with Koptalk. We've been a bit lax.
Yeah.
Or Thursday, maybe Thursday in between both.
Yeah. If we can keep them coming and that means we can keep them shorter. We can keep them more on topic.
Yeah.
We can speak about this game and that. You know what I mean? Rather than having to do a roundup.
Not much of the day today.
All right. So what?